Because it was 9 o'clock at night, I was there with my new iPad while I was charging because I was, well, I told her it's okay, but didn't know what else to do, so I messaged my sister late at night, which I was already asleep, and, yeah, when I went out there to the iPad, you know, I was at the shelves there, and the TV was, and then all of a sudden I was hearing my sister screaming. I did scream back a few times, but that's only because I thought that she was being silly, you know. Because I usually do that, you know, because sometimes when, you know, we do that when we're silly. That's what I initially thought, but yeah, no, she just kept going, so that's when I knew something wasn't right, because it kept going on like she was, like, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I knew something wasn't right, which is why I let Mum and Dad know, because I knew something wasn't right. Which is why I let Mum and Dad know. And then my sister had to be taken to the hospital. Wow. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, whatever, yeah, I'm not sure what was going on, and yeah, that's why, you know, I do want to go to Brisbane and all that, but yeah, we can't leave my sister, because I think, because they're planning to go to Brisbane around the next school holidays, but it depends whether Dad's going to, because we don't know whether Dad's going to Austria or not around that time, because we can't leave my sister alone at home. Clearly, because you're not, especially after last time, because clearly she was high on something, and, you know, this is why, this is why we can't leave her alone at home. You said she was high on something. So that's the reason why we can't leave her alone at home. You said she was high on something last time. Yes, and then that's enough last time. That's why we can't leave her alone at home. It's because we know we want to go around the next Christmas school holidays, but we don't know if Dad's going to Austria around that time. We don't know. That's what we don't know. Yeah, because the problem is my sister was more mature, but yeah, unfortunately we can't leave her alone at home because just last night she got high on something and she started screaming around 9 o'clock at night. And she had to be taken to the hospital because she was clearly high on something. No, I don't know what, but yeah, that's why we can't leave her alone at home. And that's the thing. That's why we can't leave her alone at home. And the reason he only came back from Sydney is because he wanted a different apartment, but now it's a completely different story now. Because I think, she's gotten high like that multiple times. Sometimes she's even passed out, like fainted, like she was just lying on the ground. Oh no, but for the first time it was just before the lock was installed in Mum and Dad's door. The first time, it was in the inside the walk-in pantry in the daytime, and Dad had to come home from work. Just too responsive, but then the second time it happened, and I wanted to make some nuggets, some corn nuggets around 1 o'clock in the morning, and she was on the floor unconscious, like she was on the floor unresponsive, and there was water all over the floor. And there was a bowl of food on the floor. It sounded like it had fallen. Now, man, it's possible I mistook the sound of cutlery clinging against dishes for a bowl for her falling down with a bowl. And I could have mistaken, I think that's what I heard, but yeah, I could have mistaken that. That's the thing. So yeah, no, this time, just last night, she was responsive, and she was screaming. Literally was screaming. She was screaming around at 9 o'clock at night. And she was taken to the hospital because clearly she was high on something. And it was ridiculous. I mean, she was clearly high on something. And clearly she was obviously high on something. This is dreaming. She was clearly high on something. I don't know what, but yeah, that only happened last night, around 9 o'clock at night. She was screaming around. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, I could hear her screaming around. I don't know what was going on. Yeah. That's why, yeah, that's, we want to go to Brisbane around the next school holidays and Brisbane next Brisbane school holidays, but we don't know if Dad's going to Austria or not around that time. That's what we don't know, because yeah, we can't leave my sister home alone. Yeah, we can't leave my sister home alone because clearly, it was just last night, she was screaming, she clearly was on something again. And she doesn't even remember, after that happened, she doesn't even remember what happened. She was clearly on something. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what, but yeah, she was on something. And I don't know what though, but she was on something. Yeah, so that's why we can't leave her alone at home, clearly. That's the reason why we can't leave her alone at home, obviously. Yeah, that's why we can't leave her alone at home. This is just why I started to try better, because we don't know if that's going to Austria or not. That's why we don't know if that's going to Austria or not. We don't know if that's going to Austria or not. Because we can't leave my sister at home alone, because clearly, just last night she was on something, she was screaming. She was obviously on something, and we don't know what. We don't try to get her to tell him what it was, but of course she wasn't in the right state of mind in order to even answer that. She's clearly out of it. This is amazing. She's really high on something. I don't know what though, but yeah, that's why we can't leave her at home alone, obviously. Because, yeah, that's the reason why we can't leave her alone at home. And then of course I had to take her to the hospital last night as well. You had to take her to the hospital. So this is why we can't leave her at home alone. That's why we can't leave her at home alone anymore. We can't do that. Not after what just today, especially not this last night. She was high on something. She was screaming. Jesus. And clearly, yeah, she was high on something. I don't know what. And yeah, and then of course I had to take her to the hospital. Oh my God. Yeah, so we're going to, we don't know whether it's going to Austria or not, because, because we can't, clearly we can't leave my sister by herself, we can't leave her at home by herself, obviously. Because last time, because especially last night when she was clearly on, she was on something. She was screaming last night, she was on something. So this is why we can't leave her, this is why we can't leave my sister by herself, obviously, because clearly, because, especially after what happened last night when she was on something. I don't know what though, but she was on something. So that's why we can't leave her by herself. Okay, Mom's going to be almost too soon. Thursday again, I guess? I'm planning to go to, because, but we don't know if Dad's going to Austria or not around that time, because we can't leave my sister by herself, obviously, because clearly, especially after what happened last time, because she was high on something last night and she was screaming. And the only reason I could hear it is because I was out in the living room checking on my iPad. And that's why we can't leave her alone. That's why we can't leave her by herself, because clearly, after what happened last night. Especially after what happened last night as well. That's the reason why we can't leave her by herself. And that's the thing. Because otherwise it wouldn't be a problem. Otherwise it wouldn't be a problem, of course. Now that my sister's done that last night, we can't leave her by herself. We can't leave her at home by herself. And honestly, that's why we can't leave her at home by herself. Yeah, but that's the reason why we can't leave her at home by herself, obviously. Oh dear. Tonight, Margaret sold this is wrong. Tomorrow's Tuesday? Yeah. That's the reason why we can't leave my sister at home by herself. Especially after what happened last night. She keeps always getting high on something. Always getting high on something. That's why we can't leave her at home by herself. I said we can't leave her at home by herself because this last time, because obviously even last night she was high on something and she was screaming. And this is why we can't leave her at home by herself, obviously. That's the reason why we can't leave my sister alone at home. That's why we can't leave my sister at home by herself, because obviously... that's why, because what would happen is one of the reasons Dad would have to be at home, and then when Dad was Austria, we'd do the other way around. We won't have to be at home. Because, we can't leave my sister at home by herself, and because especially when she's getting high on stuff like she did last night. Because we don't. What if that happened? Because that's why someone needs to be there to help her. Because what if that happened? What if we leave her alone at home and then she gets high on something and she possibly dies, for example? So that's the last thing we want. Why don't you just tell her to stop doing that? What's the point of doing that? She's always getting high on something at some point. We never know when, and once it happened last night. And you never know when she's going to get high on something. So how you how can you how is that going to work by just telling the person to stop? Like I don't see how that would even work. Unless this is in Western at the moment. Oh, I see. I don't know how that even work. How would you? Yeah, I don't think it's that easy to. Oh, yeah, it wouldn't be. I don't even know what she took, but clearly it was something that. Oh, God, that made her get high. She was just screaming, like. And I thought she was being silly, but yeah, then when she continued screaming, that's when I knew something wasn't right. Because clearly that's when I knew she wasn't being silly. That's when I knew something was up. I mean, she was just constantly screaming, honestly. My screaming voice doesn't work anymore. Yeah, so I did one audio recorder or something like that, but that never happened. I can't believe that. I still can't believe that, and that's unfortunately the reason why we can't leave her at home by herself, because, I mean, if we do, if we do, she'll end up getting high on something again. For sure, it's already happened last night. Yeah, it would be a really stupid thing to do, but it would be a really stupid thing to do if we actually left her at home alone, because she always gets high on something. I mean, just last night she was clearly taken something. I don't know where she's getting those things from. What about a friend? Well, he's in jail, remember? Oh, yeah. When you're visiting someone in jail, it's a phone thing. I don't know you give things. My God, no. Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's not quite tragic. The battery did actually die before. Wait, I thought you said you were not messaging anymore. What do you mean? Well, you're still messaging. Okay. What are you doing? You just said before that you stop texting altogether. And here I am catching you texting again. What are you doing? Yeah, I may still be texting mom and dad and all that, but it's just the other side I don't want to text. I don't want to. Oh, really? So if mom don't count in that case, that's it. So. I would like to be in touch with them because then I would like, but it's just too complicated on texting. I don't want to risk getting blocked in because that only happened once and that. I just think it's best that just don't text at all because I don't want to risk that again. I don't want to risk getting blocked again. You said, wait a minute. You said, wait, what did you just say? What? What did you just say before? What do you mean, what did I say before? I don't know what you're talking about. You just said, did you say what I think you said? What are you talking about? You said that you love staying in touch, but you said that text messages, the texting is too complicated. But you said you didn't care. You said no. I said I wasn't sure. I didn't say that I didn't know. No. You're getting that I wanted. I just said I wasn't sure. I'm not sure. You were wondering about the placement plan. So you're all looking forward to it. Okay, well, I guess I might as well admit. Yes, okay, I'm looking forward to going to Brisbane, so what? What? You still afford it, but you said you were wasting the because from your mind. Actually, I've stopped doing that. What do you mean? I stopped erasing it from my mind. No, I didn't. Way earlier when I got the text back home. That's before I stopped texting altogether. Because I was imagining, I didn't realise that I shouldn't have, because then of course my sister starts ranting on about me, it's not that I shouldn't have said what I did send about it, because that I'm making it. See, this is why I can't message, because I screw everything up. And then I still think that I'm making him feel. Well, this is why I don't want to text anymore, because I don't want to, especially him, because, I just can't, I always manage to screw it up somehow, I just can't do it anymore. I'm not saying that I'm dumb, I'm not saying it in that sense, I'm not saying that I'm dumb or anything, it's just, I just, I always mess it up every time, when I want to, talk, chat, I just mess it up every time, and last time when I messed up, he got me blocked, so, yeah, that's fine, so that's why I don't want to do it that way, I don't want to do anymore, I refuse to risk that. I've only even used FaceTime. I'm available there, and I just yeah. If only texting wasn't so complicated nowadays. But then of course you have the other thing where everyone's different. So In fact, it's so... So I wanted some photos together, you know. You don't have to show the photos again. I've got them okay. You don't have them on your account. Or could you share the album with me? Now, why would I do that? No personal messages. No, not the church album, the other one. With the photos together. Why do you want those? I don't see why you would want me to share those. I don't really share photos on Google Photos because it's hardly any, and I mean that's like the only one I know that uses Google Photos in the family. Mum usually doesn't really use that. I doubt the others do either. Oh. What are you doing? You're just scrolling up and down. You have to go to albums on the sidebar there. There's only I can't see the other ones. Oh, there it is. 9 items. I have a share version which I've shared on iCloud. So there's a photo of taken together, yeah. I put all the photos we had taken together in an album. Because otherwise I'd have to scroll, scroll down to my thousands of hundreds if not thousands of photos just to find a single one of those photos. That's why I put them in an album. That way they were easier to find. Oh, I see. No, you were so happy together. How could you not care about them? You know the answer to that. It's always been the same. What do you mean? Oh, right, because, you're right, true. No, you're not sure yet. Why are you first calling yourself? Was that alright? That was the answer now, but that wasn't always the answer. Right answer. It wasn't always like that. And you're even saying with buzz and all that because it's true, obviously. Oh. Yeah. Well, I may have been mad about last night, but the true thing is that no, I do care for him. I always have. What? Yeah. I've always cared. I do care about him. I always have. That would never change. I know I might have said it otherwise. It's just it's only because I was still mad about last night. I could never stop caring about this little guy. And honestly, no, seriously. He's my little cousin. He's not just a friend. He's also my little cousin. He's like a brother to me. I know, and he hears about me too, because he said it to me. That's why I captured screenshots of the important messages before I deleted it all. Let me just find the right one. It was, yeah, that's before I changed the background. See, look, this is when I asked, the first time I messaged her, I said, right in. He said, of course, you confirmed that. No, not that one. Where was it? I know I took a screenshot of it. I just have to find the right one. Oh, shit. My arm's cramping. Yeah, of course, this is, of course. Let me see. Where is... ow! My arm. Can't... That's not... Oh, here it is. See, look, he said, yes, I do. Because I said, sharing his code. I said, you really do care about me, don't you, Charlie? And then he said, yes, I do. You know, I may have asked it again, but I believe I already know the answer. It was... Oh, yeah, here. I said, do you miss me? I said, yeah, and he also said yes. Yeah, you wanted me to... Yeah, you also... Yeah, everyone wanted me to... Everyone was telling me to punch... Even my sister was agreeing with this. Everyone was telling me to punch my sister because she was being disgusting. And even my sister was agreeing with this. But then again, apparently my other cousin got her... look, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, she wasn't really being nice, apparently. But that doesn't, and then he's, the thing is, my other cousin started that debate. No, he started it when he said that, when he told me, he was the first one to tell me to punch my sister in the face, But I explained it. I'd rather not, because if I did that, I could go to jail for assault. So I explained it, and I would never, because first of all, I'm a changed man, so I'll never do that. I used to be aggressive back in the day, but not anymore. Because obviously I'm old enough to go to jail, and I'd rather not go to jail for assault. Especially on someone who's family. I mean, yeah, we're also, it's just a long time ago. Not too long ago. We became besties again. That's why we've been talking to, oh, yeah, that's the thing. But he's not as a bad influence as my other cousin is. You see, because you can't help but tease people because he's mature like a 15-year-old. My sister, that's different. She's getting high on things recently. Like she's, Yeah, and then after my other cousin sent that, I went and messaged my sister, and with the screenshot that I took. Of course, when you take a screenshot on Snapchat, it even tells the other person that you took a screenshot, which is, so of course, they know when you take. But of course, it tells you when you take a screenshot. So it's like you took a screenshot. And the other person didn't, the cousin took a screenshot. I got that as well. So they took a screenshot. It's his first time that I took a screenshot. Anyway. So I'm going to tell my sister, right? But okay, she agrees with that too, because she's been, but I didn't realise my other cousin had gotten to, because then my sister was saying that my other cousin had gotten to his phone. To her phone. That was the time when he got to her phone. That was when he because I made this Waterhouse group, and he got to her phone and he kicked me out of it again. Because he was going on about his mainframe horse crap. I kind of clearly did not know about. It was a bother, by the way. Him, yeah, well, but I spent way more time on her cousin than, my own actual, than my other cousin has. No, because there was one day, because he wasn't feeling well and he was vomiting, and well, my other cousin, he was told, he was asked, to pick my other cousin up from school, but of course he said no. Honestly, so of course they had to, you had to send you had to send a friend instead to pick him up. Oh my god. And just because, I spent way more time on him because I even, I walked down there when he had to use the bathroom. I walked down there with him, My sister was saying, the stress off her. Because I was the other day, because I'm tall, when I see, so I guess, they will tell them, when I see me, because I'm quite tall, and when I see me next to my cousin, they're not going to want to mess with him, my cousin's not going to want to mess with him, when I'm there, because I'm quite tall, I might not have many muscles, I do still have, kind of have muscles, so you see how to gym, but I may not have many muscles, but still. And I don't think they would want to mess around with a cousin. I see a tall man like me around there. Yeah, anyway. My said that my sister was just, she wasn't actually saying, Mum only said that. My sister was checking out the perfume shops, or, cosmetic shops. And we were supposed to go to Target, but so me and my cousin went to sit down somewhere. But of course we went too far. We were near the entrance when we should have been near the Target. So of course I had both Mum and my sister texting me at the same time, telling us to come back, to go back to near the Target. But And afterwards, after because he was the one that started it. He was the first one to tell me to punch my sister in the face. That's my sister in the face. So then, of course, my sister was agreeing with that, even though it's wrong. And it was on a Wednesday as well, so not long after. That's when my little cousin starts texting me about it, and he says to do it as well. And because my sister is disgusting. So then he said, if I get into trouble, to just blame it on him, and that's when but then I said, I explained I said the same thing, that I don't want to go to jail for assault, and because, like brothers, I could never just blame something like that. I would never blame anything on anyone else, especially my little cousin. That would just be wrong. I'm not an idiot. I'm quite smart, thank you very much. I'm smart enough to know that doing something like that is wrong. Duh. But I know assault is wrong because when it was when we lived in America, I was around, I was in my teenage years. The police had to come to our house maybe twice, I can't remember, but only to explain that assault is wrong. See, I've ever been explained to it by actual police. I'm not joking, because I used to be aggressive and doing slapping my own mother. I don't really, I don't really want to bring that up. That was no good times. But that's the reason why police had to come and explain that to me multiple times. This is why I know, why I don't go to jail for assault, You don't even want, nowadays you don't even want to try that in your own day, because I nearly once, because I have swung my hands. I didn't hit, I may have swung my fists on my hand, but I didn't hit anyone. I may have swung my fists though. But yeah, you don't even want to try that, because if it even looks like you're going to hit someone, like mum and dad, well yeah, Dad will get straight on his phone and call the police. So, oh boy. Yeah, so don't even try that, trust me. Just don't. It's not a good idea. It's yeah, because the police will be immediately called. This is a message you wrote, yeah. Oh, you did say you can't wait till, okay, never mind. Never mind, doesn't it? This one thinks it was going normally, and then, so now all of a sudden it's falling apart. It's not even halfway through August, and then yet, of course, it's all just falling apart. And from today, but yeah, and then it's all falling apart. I can't even write, that's why I wanted to, I can't even write anything about emotions, unfortunately. Can't do that either, because that's what my sister said, so this is why I'm still texting my dad on the husband, except, it's just because I don't want to risk getting blocked again. I'm just not, so that, she said multiple, it's not only can't I do emotions, but only 2 short messages per day. Yeah, it's just too complicated for me, and that's why I don't want to, FaceTime is fun. If he only was available for that, if only we had a time for him that he would be available. Because, I'm not really, it's just too complicated, that's just gotten too complicated for me, Which is why I don't really take it personally. It's just, I just don't want to risk getting blocked again, I just don't want to risk that, that's all. We got long messages, it's fine. Because it all fall apart, because it all started when I kept discussing my emotions. And then writing a long message. Well, I never should. I feel like such an idiot. I never should have done it, but of course, even if I delete the messages on my end, if I just go to delete, it's not going to delete them on the other person's end. Which means because he still has all those messages on his end, and I just don't have them on mine. It doesn't delete them on the other person's end, unless they delete them themselves. It just got too complicated for me, and that's why I stopped doing, I didn't want to delete all the messages. But I was just, I was too into it, I was just too angry, that's why. And my sister even my dad was on a cape. I can't want, especially what I wrote today. Yeah, it's not an engineer, she said, I can't watch what I wrote today. Well, and the fact is, I've been planning to write that in my head all night long. Last night, this morning, I've been planning to write that. But when I got unblocked, that's the thing, that's what I've been planning to write. Because that wasn't happy I was getting blocked, and that's what I planned to write. I didn't realize I couldn't write like that either. Well, what was I supposed to say? That's the only thing I had planned to say. What was that was the thing I planned to start out with. What else did I delete the message? What else was I supposed to say? that's the thing, like, what was I supposed to say? Like, that's the thing I had planned saying, you know. I'm just not the, I'm clearly just not the messaging type when it comes to people like that. When it comes to people like that, I'm just not, I'm just not the, I'm just, you know, it's just not on for me. Because clearly, I can't help but want too many messages. I'm like, it's not chatting most of the time. I can't help. I can't help it. Just what was I supposed to do? Why don't you just not express emotions? But what, even if I wanted to, like, what would I even say? Even if I did, you know, what would I even say? There's only two messages, if I was only told two short messages per day. Two. And then I'm just not the messaging type. I always screw it up. I'm just not the type. I just, you know, just too complicated. And yeah, well, maybe not got a photo or video or audio or whatever happened last night, but it definitely happen. And I don't want to end up like that again. I mean, you know, I just don't, I'd rather not screw it up again. Yeah, I mean, why does everything have to be so, like, why does texting have to be so difficult all of a sudden? And why did you just FaceTime? Well, because I never know when he's available, you know. You know, we once had a FaceTime, sure. But then I wanted to FaceTime, you know, the next day, and then that day after, but of course, he never answered. Like, and then you, well, then that day after, he didn't, you know. That's why so basically, not simple communication, but just, you know, the texting, because it's just, I always send too many messages and end up, you know. No, because, yeah, I was always having fun for it, so it never really happens because, I mean, when is he available? I never be able to figure this out. I mean, seriously. Yeah, it's fine. Complicated. Texting. What is that doing? Crazy. So texting is just too complicated for me. I mean, this is why I want no one to. That's why stop texting altogether. But of course, but if you just do this with your cousin, why did you say that to everyone? Oh yeah, that's a good point. If it's just because you said you were thinking the only person you blocked was your cousin, so. You just said that but you didn't. You said that you posted it on Facebook and TikTok. Oh yeah. I can just. Entertainment. Entertainment. What? What did that say? Again? Yeah, what is it in the... What is it? Is it